We're here with Dean Baker and Mickey Cantwell. Dean, you're from Wasserman Media Group. You're Anthony's manager. How important is it to have a press conference like today to unveil Anthony and his new deal with Golden Boy?
Oh, it's huge. It's something that Anthony's probably role-played in his head for the last 2 months since he knew that he was joining Golden Boy. It's important to get Anthony's personality across to the press as well, I think, and just announce ourselves on the pro stage. It's something that's been well thought out. We've put a lot of time in. Nothing's been rushed. I think you'll see by the turnout today that he's the first Olympian that's turned pro, and the fact the mere Golden Boy being under their banner attracts a big crowd. So yeah, I think it's very important just to get the message across.
Mickey, you've probably seen Anthony around for quite a while. You follow the amateurs obviously through Hatton TV, etc. But also Anthony has been up to Hatton's gym and sparred in the past, I believe. So you've seen him rise as a talent through the amateur ranks, and now he's turning pro. How much potential do you think he has?
His potential is huge. Dean Baker would tell you, we took him up to Ricky's gym about 3.5 years ago, and I said, when I looked at him actually close up and watched him at Shadowbox, I went, this kid's going to be a superstar. I said, wow, this kid's got so much talent. And you heard today, what he's been through to get to where he is today. This shows, apart from him being I think one of the most exciting fighters in the world, certainly as an amateur, that will cross over to the professional game. His trial and tribulation to get to where he is today just proves this kid will be a star.
Having a big promoter behind you, a powerhouse like Golden Boy, is massive, but the exposure in the States is equally massive. Boxing is still big over there. HBO is a massive network. They work closely with Golden Boy. How important is that exposure to Anthony's career, especially so early on, getting to box on big shows internationally?
I think the experience is one of the things that drew him to Golden Boy. The experience of fighting on those shows. I mean, I sat down with Richard on Monday and went through his diary for the year, and there was world title fights in every single month. It was just, and it blew me away really. And the fact that Anthony will fight on the undercards of potentially Khan shows, Mayweather shows, and the fact that the brand, it's so easy for them to do that, to put him on those shows and to map out his career. There's no pressure because they've got the top stars, the boys with the world titles. There's no pressure immediately on Anthony's shoulders to deliver for them, and that is huge for us. The lure of the American scene is massive, but let's not take away from him. He's the proudest Brit I've ever met, and his roots in East Anglia are huge, and he wants to flitter between the two, and build a big stage and a fan base for himself here, whilst still learning and gaining from the experience and exposure from the States at the same time. So yeah, huge.
Mickey, Richard mentioned that he should box 4 times over here this year, possibly and 4 times in the States. How important for an amateur fighter turning pro is it to keep busy like that? Because as an amateur, they're boxing quite regularly and training regularly as well.
I think that's the most important part, especially at Anthony's level. He could probably go straight in a box every other day, but it's important he keeps busy, keeps the momentum going. Dean's, as embarks on, he's proud to be British. He obviously wants to box home, and boxing at home 4 times in the first year, as well as boxing in America, is absolutely massive for him. But I think it's really important that he gets out every month and gets the Anti-Go-Go brand out there.
It's very refreshing to hear a boxer talk so openly and ambitiously on the stage, but also the fact that he's not rushing into to committing to a trainer straight away. He's ready to learn his craft as a professional and then choose the right person for him. Have you guys had an influence on maybe who he might be working with, or is he just so open-minded he's going to go around and find the right trainer for him?
I think it's important for every fighter to make that decision himself, and Anthony, through GB and through working with different fighters and sparring different fighters, has already worked with 1 or 2 other trainers as well outside of his amateur gym and GB. So he's worked with some of the top trainers in this country, and there's 1 or 2 that are in the mix, and I think good luck to him. I think he's absolutely doing the right thing. He wants to, like he said, stick with the same trainer for 10 to 12 years, doesn't want to rush in sort of too quickly. I think within the next few months that will become clear who he chooses with, and I think from a trainer's point of view, he wants to know as well that he's going to gel with the fighter and he's the right type of man. So I think it's going to work well for both, but watch this space really.